Welcome back to my shop. Today I'm going to help my son with his first turning, making a bowl from a board. I've made up several blanks for him to choose from, and I'll show him the procedure I use to make the bowls. I'm going to make up a new blank. I finished up and trued up the first blank. It's all mounted and it's trued up around the edges and it's flat. So when my son gets here, we'll put that on the lathe and he can do the bowl and the board. Now I'm going to make up a second one in case he doesn't like the first one. This is a hard maple, and I'm going to be using a few different pieces of wood here, and we'll put them inside that just to make a little design. But I have to trim this down to the right thickness. Well, just pure luck, I've got that trimmed down to exactly the right size. So we can continue. We'll start cutting it into pieces. Okay, I've trued up this edge here so I can run it against the fence. And I'll be adding 1/2-inch strips throughout the project here in between the sections. I'm going to make 4 sections with spacers in between. Okay, I've got my pieces cut. I'll cut them to length, and then I'll cut my spacers to match up. We'll put it together. I got my stop set for 10 inches, so I'll cut these in half here, 10 inches, and then I'll cut my spacers to the same size. Okay, that's all the pieces. Time to glue up this newest project here. We're going to put it together like that. I can find my brush. What did I do with the brush? Here it is. Okay. Okay, so that's got to set overnight, or at least for a few hours, and we'll be back. Well, it's time for the unveiling. Had supper. You know, it's later in the evening, so we'll get this apart and get the glue off of it. Okay, so I've sanded this on the belt sander, and I've got this already made up for my block. Gonna fit there. I've got the circles marked. I got the outer circle. I'll have to cut that in a bandsaw now, and then I'll glue on the base. So I'll get that done and I'll be right back. Okay, I just cut the rough cut around the edges, and I'm going to glue on the base. I've got the circle marked. We'll see how this comes out. I'm going to let that set for a few minutes, and then I'll put the weight on it. Okay, it's been a few minutes, not too long, about 4 or 5 minutes. I'm just going to set this gently down, and we're going to leave it overnight. And then I'll true it up like I did this one. This one's all trued up. It's flat, ready to go. The base is on it. And this one will true it up tomorrow, and that one will be ready. I don't know if I'm going to make a third one or not. Got to give the few different designs, always nice. So right now I'm gonna turn this, round it out, and then I'm gonna move that over to clean up the front edge, square it off, flatten it out. So I'm gonna make this round first. Perfect.
This has got the black walnut in it, and this one was,
This is hard maple, and this is poplar. This one here is oak with mahogany
oh, that was
and
the mahogany.
padauk.
Padauk, I don't know that one.
This one over here
Yeah.
is the hard maple, and the same as that, the poplar, and this is, I'm not sure what that is, but it will come out very pretty
Yeah,
after you've turned it.
Okay, this is the one I like.
that's the one I want.
You're in agreement.
Yes,
Okay,
we
all
usually
right.
are, we usually are.
Cool, okay. So what we have to do is put that on there tight. So I'm getting it close, and then
Yeah,
that's enough to hold it on there. It's not going anywhere because you're cutting on this side
yeah,
and it's turning against the threads,
yeah.
okay? And we set this up, and we have our angle that we're going to use. I'd like to we'll start with the 45 because it's the deepest one, so the outside has a little bit of a curve to it. So what we have to do is set this close by. Okay, we have to figure out how far we want this in there. So we can go about this far. Okay, so we have to set this here. And set up our angle to match that. So if we do roughly a 45-degree cut, we have to match that line,
Yeah,
and this, we want to be close enough in there. We'll just put that there. And you look down here, make sure that's the angle,
yeah,
and then tighten up your banjo. Now, what we're going to do is to slice. See where that
Yeah.
meets up, or right on that line we
Yeah.
made? And you're going to be very gentle. You're going to keep this in place with your thumb.
yeah.
Okay, so start the machine, vacuum going on very slowly, and keep the pressure on the top of that. There you go, good. When you do get to the end, you're going to feel a difference when this breaks free. See what I mean about it jumping off there? And yeah, I know it gets warm, but you have what we have to do now is to figure out, see how that fits on there?
Yeah,
Well, we have to figure out the distance across here, and that's our next cut. That's good, very good. Okay, now, same thing, we gotta pull that off.
lining up the brown lines together, all the lines that we made, but mostly just, you know, the brown center line. We're trying to make sure that it's even all together, because it is cuts in the other lines. So, but as long as the center line is perfect, the bowl is going to be perfect. And it looks good from here.
Okay,
center
we're gonna
line
let that
gets together.
set for about 5 minutes, and then,
Flip it over and put the weight on it?
yes, okay.
Okay.
We'll be back.
Okay, the final thing today, flip it over very carefully. And put the weight on it. So the glue could cure overnight. And tomorrow we'll finish it up.
Okay, so now we're gonna start shaping the outside of the bowl. Steven's gonna pick the design as he's going along. Go ahead. We had a little mechanical problem where the base we had was kind of punky wood, and it broke off. The whole bowl flew, and now we had to readjust. We're using the cold jaws, the jaws here, to put it in there so that we'll have a firm grip on it. We should be good, and he's going to start turning again. You can go up to
450
11.
right now.
You can go up to 11, 10 or
Are
11.
you sure?
Yeah. Okay. Okay. And very gently your first cuts because it's warbling.
Yep.
Steve? Getting better. See, the grain is all going this way. So this is the end grain.
Yeah.
That's harder to cut. The side grain, or the long grain, is here. It's much easier. But it's the end grain that it comes out rough.
So this side still has to come down more.
Right.
So a little lip on it.
Yeah. Very gently. After sharpening the blade, hopefully that'll work a little easier for him to trim that out. It's a very hard wood, so careful to catch it. Being his very first turning, we're taking it very slow. Turn off a minute. Just see what happens.
Oh,
Well, you're good. You're good. No problem.
yeah.
But
I was barely, right, I was barely touching it.
oh, I know. Yeah, the outside is where you want it, but you just have to smooth it. And I'm gonna sharpen that. When you get off the phone, I'll sharpen that scraper. And that's what you'll use to just finish it. Don't cut into it anymore, just smooth. You're doing good though. You have to match. And I usually, most of the time, just use my fingers to see if I can feel any difference. But you don't want to really take any more off here because you got to take off that much on the inside. So we've started sanding, and we've done an 80 grit. Now we're playing with the 150 grit, and we'll work that in. Turn it, absolutely turn the whole pad. Yeah, there, use that. We're at 400 grit. Once we finish this, we should be at the point where we can put a finish on the outside, but we're going to wait until the inside is turned. Okay, starting on the inside. Maybe you need this light. We're recording. Just flatten the edge first, or the bottom first. Don't go past the center though. That's it. That's it. Okay, now twist your... Yep. Careful with it. Now, since we can't we can't make that go in reverse because it'll pop off. If we could make it go in reverse, we'd be able to do it the opposite way. But that chuck, we can't secure it.
Just around the
You're going to
edge
end
a
up
little bit.
taking just another, probably, I don't know, the thickness of this you're going to be taking off because you're going to make the flat a little deeper. Okay?
What, this deeper?
A little bit deeper. And then that way, when you come to here, you can make a curve here, which will go down into that. So go down, I don't know the thickness here, as thick as that. Go about that much deeper. If you want to speed it up, if that'll be easier. You have to be adjusting that angle all the time
Right.
because of the cut. Yeah, I know. Did you make a gouge?
No, I mean,
Okay,
I just need
that's
to get
fine.
around the
That's fine.
corner a little bit more
Yeah.
because this looks, well, not that piece, but
Right, yeah, I
I have
know.
to get that down more
That's
about
fine.
around there.
You want me to get that corner?
Probably.
Okay. Give me the shield.
Okay.
We mentioned the other day that we had a little accident with the inside of the bowl. It punched a hole in the outside, so I had to use epoxy to seal the hole up. So what I did was took some sawdust, filled it in the epoxy, mixed it with the epoxy, and put it in the hole. We had a nice big hole. I showed you the pictures. That's where the hole was. And we'll clean that up before we, after we put it on the lathe. That should clean up okay. Then I used some, on the far side where it hadn't broken through, I used some medium CA glue. Started with some thin CA, put it all over this, and then I took the medium CA and filled the hole, or fill all those cracks. On the inside, this is where the hole was. I used the epoxy with the sawdust, filled it in here. I think what I'll do when I start to turn it is just use some 60 grit sandpaper in here just to get that smooth before I start using a chisel. And then I'll take and finish up the insides. I have to taper this. My son had to go back to New England, so I'm going to finish up the bowl for him. Well, I got this bowl in here now, and this is the one with the broken parts. I'm trying to smooth out the bumps. You see how it wobbles? Well, I have to smooth the outside first and get that back to round, and then after that I can work on the inside, and hopefully everything's going to work out fine. Well, after our accident where we poked a hole in there and we had damage on the opposite side, I've had to reshape the whole thing because we were, I don't know, 3/16 of an inch off center after we banged this all up. So I got that all smoothed out. That's the epoxy in there. And I've done an 80 grit. I'm going to do a 240, and then I'll do my 400 on it, and then we'll be ready to put the finish on the outside, but we still have to shape the inside. Well, we've got this all trued up and sanded to 400 grit on the outside, and now I've got to clean up this mess here. This is epoxy. I'm going to very gently try and trim that off and then shape it. We've got a little over 1/4 of an inch of play here. We can cut it down a little bit and we'll be fine. So here goes nothing. Well, we did it again. I don't know how good you can see that, but down in here the hole got opened up again, and this is the epoxy, see that? And then the hole down here got opened up. I'm going to have to give up on this one because I don't think the epoxy will hold. That's the epoxy on the other side, and that's not cleaning up very well. So I hate to say it, but I'm going to give up on this thing. Such a beautiful bowl would have been. So we're just going to have to scrap that and put it away until sometime I learn how to fix it.
I feel like a doctor, still practicing. This didn't turn out the way I expected,
and I'll have to come up with a better way to put patches in broken bowls. I hope this was helpful for your project, and you don't make the same mistakes that I did. Thank you for watching, and please tell your friends. Leave a comment if you can help me fix this if you'd like. Hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks again for watching.